Sanhedrin, Daf Mem Beis Amar Aleph, is starting from 3 lines on the bottom, from the bottom of Mem Aleph Amar Beis. Sagt ihm, Barav Amar Rabbi Achbar Rabbi Chanina Amar Rabbi Asi Amar Rabbi Yechnan. Rabbi Achbar Rabbi Chanina said the name of Rabbi Asi in the name of Rabbi Yechnan. Ad Kama, till how many days of the Chiddush has to pass that Mevarch al Chiddush, that you can still make the bracha on the Chiddush, the Birch Salavana. Says, you want to outshit his Malapikim Masa. Till the faultiness of Lavana is not, you're not going to see the faultiness anymore. That when is that? How many days it's considered as the pigima is filled, the faultiness is no more there. Till 7 days, that's when the moon comes to a half a circle. That's till then you can make the bracha. Now they say till 16 days when the moon is a full circle. And they both, Rabbi Yehuda and Adai both hold like Rabbi Yechnan that you can make a bracha till the pegima is gone, till the pegima, the faultiness is filled. Rabbi Yehuda says, when is that? When they have a kiyisa, when the moon is like the string of the bow together with the bow. That means when you look at a bow with the string, it's a half a moon, half a circle. But now they say, when is the kavanah fulfilled? When it's like a sieve, which is a full circle. In fact, let him make a bracha, even according to Rabbi Yehuda, after the 7 days, which bracha, because Lavana is continuing to fill up, become bigger and bigger. Amaleis, and when the moon starts getting smaller and smaller, do we make the bracha Baruch Dain Emes? So just like we don't make the bracha Baruch Dain Emes when it's getting smaller, so too when it's getting bigger, we don't make the bracha let us make a bracha on both. Let's say make the bracha Bateva Meitav and Baruch Dain Emes. But you want to keep in the Haino, okay? Since this is the Derech HaOlam from the creation of the world, that it always gets from smaller to bigger and then it gets smaller again. Therefore, since it's something that's usual, you don't make a bracha because this, if it's the Derech HaOlam, so you don't really see a siman of goodness or badness, because the Derech HaOlam is to go bigger and smaller. It's not something that has suddenly happened to Chiddush. So Rabbi Chanina said in the name of Asi, in the name of Yachim, Kol Ha'Mavarach Al HaChidush, whoever makes the bracha Birchas Halavana Bizmane in its time, is as if he's fulfilling the face of the Shechina. And the market is Ksiv Hacha. It says by Rish Chidush, HaChidush Hazel Lachem Rish Chidush. And Ksiv Hasam, and in Shmais it says Zeh Kilu Yamveyu. It says Zeh, and we dash like Zeh Shavim from Zeh Kilu Yamveyu. By the Shir Sayyam they were able to point to the Shechina. That's what we learn out from the Zeh by Shir Sayyam. So that is we're going to say by where it says HaChidush Hazel. We'll say the same thing. It means that the face of the Shekhinah is there, just like it was by Shir Zayam, from Aksei Shabbat Zeh, and the Gemara Tanit Rabbi Yishmael, L'malei Leizach Yisrael. If the Yidden were Zeicha in all the mitzvahs, Ella, only this mitzvah of Kiddush HaChidush, L'hag Pnei Avim Shel Shemayim, to receive the face of our Father of Heaven, the Shekhinah, even once called Chidush V'Chidush, once every month, with the Berachas Halavana, Dayim. That mitzvah would have been enough to be satisfied with our part. Abaye said, since this bracha is like receiving the face of the Shekhinah, here comes them Rimum. Therefore, we have to say it standing because of the cover of the Shekhinah. So we find with Mereb Mazut and Mekasri Ahadodi Umevarchi that they were elderly people, and it was hard for them to stand, and they leaned on the shoulders of their servants in order to be able to make the bracha standing. Sagt die Gemara, the nusach of the bracha was Amalei Ravach Ravash Marav and Eretz Yisrael Mevachim Baruch Hashem Hashem and Kain Melech Haylam Mecham Shchadash. Amalei Ravash said Ravacha, hi, this bracha is such a short version of the whole bracha. Even the women can make such a bracha. It doesn't. So you can't say that the Nusach of the Bracha is so small. Ella, rather, the Nusach of the Bracha is Rabbi Yehuda. Like Rabbi Yehuda said, Baruch, Atah Hashem Elokeinu Melech Haolam Hashem Ma'amarim, that with his Dibur, Baruch Chakim, he created the heavens, and Baruch Piv, and with the ear or the wind of his mouth, Kol Tzva'am, he created the Keichavim, the stars, and the host, and the Mazoles. Choik Yuzman Nas Lahem. He set up Choik in a time, Shelo Yishtanam Es Tavkidam, that they shouldn't change their tzivui, their zmanim. Sasnu Smeichem Lassen Tzim Kainam. And they fulfilled the mitzvah simcha. Pele Yamez. The workers are truthful, meaning the tzvashmaim do their work. They are emesidika workers. Shapiolas emes, and they do the work honestly. They are not meshana. They don't change from from what they were commanded. By the Levana, Hashem says that it should be renewed every month. Ateres teferes b'musibot, and a beautiful crown for the Bnei Yisrael who were in the womb of Hashem. They will also be renewed like her, meaning they're going to go out from the galus and be renewed. Malchus Beis David and to beautify to the Creator Al Shem Kfei Malchusei, on the name of His glory and His kingdom. Baruch Hashem, blessed is you Hashem, that renews the month. Nema, it says, Mishlei ki b'tachbuleis tas lecha mechama, with your b'tachbuleis, with your plans and chachma, you can make war. Meaning, with who could you come to the truth of Torah, going back and forth to a Mechama of Torah, that you come to the truth, to somebody who knows a lot of Mishnayos. And so we find, Rav Yosef said about himself, he was praised about his Bekiyas, and he said about himself, the Pasuk, but I have Tfuis, many Tfuis, a lot of Tfuis, a lot of produce in the Koich Vashay. Tfu is a nickname for Bekiyas about Torah, or corresponds to Bekiyas in the Torah. But Shei is a kinei for Yosef, like we know. Yosef was compared to Shei. So it's like you're saying, I need Rav Yosef, who's Rav Tfuis, who has a lot of keys in the Torah, Sai in the Torah, and Sai Mishnah, and Sai in the Braises. That he learned in the base medrash all of it, and he's a baki in all of it. We learned in the Mishnah. One says it happened the second hour of the day. The Mishnah says, and one said it happened the third hour of the day. We said the Eidus is good. But if one says the third hour of the day, one says the fifth hour of the day, Eidusan b'teila. I've seen that the Eidus is kayemes only when the chilik is b'shois. But if one says before sunrise, the story happened. One says the story happened after the sunrise, then they do some Matela. The Eidos is batal. In fact, the Gemara Pshita, it's an obvious difference in the Eidos. And the Gemara you have to say that he said his chiddush. One said it happened before sunrise, and one said it happened in sunrise. So this is also a tremendous difference in time, and it's contradictory. It should be batal. So if you want to know, I would have said, I mean, the aid that testifies that the story happened after sunrise, it wasn't really after sunrise, it was the rays of the sunrise. He only saw the rays of the sun, it wasn't actually the sunrise. And since a person can make such a mistake, so I would have said the Eidus is Kayemis, Kamash 1, therefore Rav Simi have to be Mechadish. No, the Eidus will be batal. We learned in the Mishnah, if one of the Talmidim said he could find schusim for the nidain, for the one that's being accused, so we bring him into the Bezdin, and he wouldn't go down that whole day. In fact, Only that day he wouldn't go down back to the Talmidim, and that's it. And then he goes back after that day. But Tanya, we learned in the Baraisa, if this Talmud they accepted had really heavy svaris to acquit the one that's being accused, they wouldn't take him down at all. So it's just stated, then they would leave him till the end of the day. So it's a kasha. You just said that even if it's mamash b'dvarav, he only stayed for the day, and after the day he would go back to the Talmidim. We learned the Braisa, no, even if he had mamash b'dvarav, he would only stay for the day, and then he would leave. Why? Why would he stay for the day? For the one that didn't have mamash. For both, because if they take him down that day, he'll be embarrassed. So that's a stira. This that the Mishnah says that it was only for that day is talking about on a case on even that the words of the Talmud wasn't really mamash svara. It wasn't a good svara to acquit the accused, and therefore the Mishnah says till the end of the day, and it's not a stira. Obviously, if he had mamashis to his words, he would stay there forever. We learned in the Mishnah Matzalei Schuz, if they found a reasoning to acquit, they wouldn't drink wine that whole day. In fact, my time of life, why wouldn't they drink wine? It says in the pasuk, and to kings, they wouldn't drink old wine. Those dayanim who are dealing with din nefashes, which is the secrets of the world, it's for the life and death. They're not allowed to drink wine. We learned in the Mishnah that it was 36 that are mechayim, and 35 that are being mezakeh. Says if they found them schulas, that they would judge one against the other till they see one of the mechayim that they'll turn over to the Zay. What if they didn't? They stood still, and we couldn't acquit. It was only 36. It was only 36 that were mechayiv and 35 were being mezakin. And to be mechayiv, you need the extra one, and it was at a standstill. So what's the din? Avacha said we patim. So did Rabbi Yochanan say we patim.
Thank you so much.
Papa said to Abaya they should acquit him to begin with. Why do we have to wait till one gets convinced from either side to either be mezakeh or to be mechayiv? Amalei Abaya said, Papa, Rabbi Yochanan. So said Rabbi Yochanan, that it shouldn't come out that the bezdin is like a bezdin that couldn't come with a conclusion, and it's degrading for such a bezdin that they cannot conclude to a psak din. So l'chatchila we have to try to work out that they should come to a conclusion in the bezdin. So the Gemara, equally Amri others say that this shmua was when the din wasn't concluded through Bezdin of 23, you add another 2 in order to be Machri the Bezdin. Why should he add more Dayanim? Let them just deal with the 23, and if they won't be Matzliach to come to a conclusion, he should be acquitted. Abaye said to Papa, and Rabbi Yossi says like you. The Tanya that we learned in the Braisa, Rabbi Yossi says, just like we don't add any dayanim when there's a standstill by 71 dayanim of the big Sanhedrin. So too, we don't add when it comes to a bezin of 23. Is by monetary law we say if the din became stale, that's by din u'mamanis. By din nefashis, we don't say the din became stale. In fact, you want to what's the kavanah in the stak din? What does it mean stak din? If you're going to say the kavanah is kosh dina, that din, this din is hard, and we have to push it off for tomorrow. It should have said the opposite. By din in moment is you can't say nisdaken adin that it's too hard and you push it off to tomorrow. It's just monetary law. But when you're dealing with life and death, then you have to be mine much more. So then you make more sense to say to push it off to tomorrow. The inyan of kashdina. Rav Huna said the Gemara. Rav Huna hat gesagt, says you have to reverse it. Ravashi says you don't reverse it. Mine is not din. And what does it mean that the din became stale? Chacham din. It doesn't mean stale. It means chacham. Chacham means it was wise, that the din was done so professionally, so good, and there's no need to go into the din. That's only by din and mamanis. By din and the fashis, we don't say nizdaken adin that it was a powerful chachma, and we come to a conclusion because by the din and the fashis, he could always find ways to be mezakeh and reverse the din. In fact, the head of the Sanhedrin, Oyman, Nizdaken Adin, says that the din was Nizdaken. If you say it means Chacham Dina, that they were, it was with wisdom and they concluded well, so it makes sense that the Gadol of the Dayanim, the head of the Dayanim, says that. Everything they say, Kosh Dina, that we have a Shverikite with passing the din, Lo Yisagir, the Lo Yama Gadol. It's not enough that the Gadol should say this, that the Gadol shouldn't say this, it should be somebody else. But here you're having your Gadol saying this, he's embarrassing himself, he's being made that he can't come to a conclusion. So why does the Gadol should say it? So obviously Nizdaken Adin cannot mean he's coming to embarrass himself, say that we can't come to a conclusion. Rather it means Chacham Dina, that they came to a conclusion we're talking about by Din and Mamanes. So there it makes more sense. Zag the Gemara. No, it makes sense even when you say that they couldn't come to a conclusion and swear he couldn't pass for the Gadol Shabbat to say it. Because he can't compare to somebody who's embarrassing himself to a person who's being embarrassed by others. Others say the kasha was like this. If you say that the Nizdaken Adin means that the din was hard, here it makes sense that he says it about himself, because a person would rather embarrass himself than getting embarrassed by others, because it's much worse. But if you're going to say that the Gadol of Dayanim was saying, we came to a conclusion professionally, with wisdom, we did a great job. Says, is it masrim? Is it fitting for a Gadol to be mishabech himself? It says in the pasuk, that it's not fit for a person to praise himself. The Zar should praise you, not your own mouth should praise yourself. Says you want to shine in the Beidin Hagadol Hamiyah. When it comes to Inyan Yonim Bezdin, there it's different. There, the responsibility is on the Gadol, on the head of the Bezdin, and that's why it makes sense for him to speak. It's not like we learned in the Mishnah early on in Chavtes Amar Aleph. Kamas Hadava, the Bezdin came to a conclusion. They would bring in the litigants, and the head of the Dayan would say, Ish Ploini Atazaka, you are Zeich, you won, meaning your pater. Ish Ploini Atachayv, you are Chayiv. Hadan Allah, Chayiv Baitkin. We shall return to you, Perik Chayiv Baitkin, Hadan Allah, Chayiv Baitkin, Hadan Allah, Chayiv Baitkin. We shall return to you, Perik Chayiv Baitkin. We're starting a new Perik Nigma Hadin. Zog the Mishnah. The Mishnah says that a Nigma Hadin, if the din was concluded to skila, we take out the accused for skila, the convicted one for skila. Beis haskila, the Beis haskila was outside the Bezdin, far from Bezdin. It's not like it says in the pasuk when they gave to Mekalel, somebody who curses Hashem in Hashem's name, who's chayv skila. It says Mekalel, take out the one who cursed, and then it says that the whole Eidah stoned him. So it says the Gemara, what did they do? They appointed Echad Imam Pesach Bezdin. One they would appoint to stand at the entrance of the Bezdin, and they would have kerchiefs in their hands. And there was a horse with a person riding on it. It was far away, but at about a distance, to see the man with the handkerchief. If one of the ones that was sitting in the Bezdin says, yes, I found now a reason to acquit him, immediately Allah, the one that was sitting by the entrance with the kerchief, made him masudarim. He would wave the kerchief. And the horse would run to be ma'akiv, the person who's being led to be executed. Mishnah continues, even the person himself who's being convicted, he says, I can find svaris to be acquitted. They would bring him back to Bezdin to listen to his words and to be ma'ayin again how to pass him. Even if it's 4 or 5 times. Providing that he has good svaris. In fact, it was just right outside the Bezdin, not further. The Beis Haskila was outside the 3 machnes, the machna of Shechina, machna Levia, and machna Yisol. So why is our Mishnah say just outside the Bezdin? And the Gemara in. Yeah, you're right. Kiddush is exactly like you said, outside the 3 machnes. And this that we learned outside the Bezdin, it's talking about a case of Bezdin went out of its normal place and was sitting outside the machna Yisol. Avdina, there we said you have to do Beis Haskila chutz leBezdin. The Beis Haskila has to still be away from the Bezdin. So it shouldn't seem like this Bezdin is a place where they kill people. They shouldn't have such a name. No, they sat in a regular place. Why did they use the words mechutz leBezdin? To tell you from right outside the Bezdin until where they let him out of the 3 machnes, there was so much time that in that time they could still find be malamed on him schuz in order to bring him back. That's why they said from the chutz Bezdin till the outside they want to bring out that there was a lot of time to be malamed schuz. So how do we know that the Beis Haskila was outside the 3 camps? And the Gemara, the Tanya Rabbanim, this it says it says take out the one who cursed Hashem outside the machna. That's chutz machnes. Outside the 3 machnes. You're saying it's outside of the 3 machnes. Maybe it's outside 1 machna. And the Gemara Nemakan by Makal it says mechutz lamachna. And by putting on sofim of a par shel kohen gadol or kohen Mashiach, whatever, and the par ha'eda, there it says it was chutz lamachna, chutz l'shalish machnes. Malahal chutz l'shalish machnes, just like the chutz lamachna that says by the putting on sofim was outside the 3 machnes. Afkan by Mekalel when it says mechutz lamachna means chutz l'shalish machnes. We learn out from the Gzeira Shava. But you might have a husband. How do we know the chutz lamachna that says by Param Sofim that it was outside the 3 machnes? The Tanya Rabbanan it says by the Kohen Mashiach. It says it says kol apar mechutz lamachna. It says that you take out the par to outside the machna. I know chutz l'shalish machnes. That's outside the 3 machnes. When you say outside 3 machnes, maybe it means outside 1 camp. And when it says chutz lamachna by the para eda, shein tamud leima, we didn't need to learn from have the words mechutz lamachna sheikva nema by para eda. It says that you should burn in the same place with the par, like you burn the par by the Kohen HaMashiach. And by par Kohen HaMashiach already says mechutz lamachna. Why does it say again mechutz lamachna by par eda? In order to tell you that it has to go out to the second machna. And when it says again mechutz lamachna, to bring the ash by the pile of ash, you should bring the burnt par. Shein tamud leima. We don't need the word chutz lamachna there. Sheikva nema. It already says by the par Kohen HaMashiach al shevach hadesh yisarot that you should pour, meaning you burn the par Kohen HaMashiach in the place where you poured the pile of ashes. So you already know that the din of the ashes is poured michutz lamachna. So why do you have to say michutz lamachna? By the dashan. So why does it say by the ashes again michutz lamachna? Obviously, kidei litin lemachna shlishis. In order to teach us that you have to take it out the 3 machnas. That meaning that the par koyam Mashiach and the para Eda and the dashan had to be taken out the 3 machnas. In fact, let us learn skila b'mekalel mishchutei chutz from somebody who says kachim outside the Beis Hamikdash. He's chayiv kares. Malahalan, just like by the shchutei chutz, somebody who shachs outside the machna. Chutz lemachna achas, just like over there, it means outside one camp. It says, "Well, pesach yomed leheviyu." Afkan, so too by somebody who curses. Let us explain that mechutz lemachna means machna achas, means only one camp. And for the Gemara Mistam, be parim on some havle lemelev. It makes more sense to learn out mekalo from the par koyin Mashiach and par Eda shakim, because by the mekalo it's similar in many ways to the parim on sofrim, and it's not similar to shchutei chutz. Lamashal haitzei, by the mekalo it says, and by the 2 parim it says take them out. It's the lashon hitzah is mentioned by both, by side by mekalo and side by the parim on sofrim. Michutz lamachna it says 2 outside the machna el. By Mishnei by both of them, it says El, side by Mikalo and side by the Param Nasafim. Machshir, by both it says to take them outside the Machna, because that's a condition and a hechsher for the fulfilling the mitzvah. Mashenkin Shchutei Chutz, we're not talking about a mitzvah, we're talking about the Aveda, the one who shechted the carbon that outside the Machna, that's Aveda, it's not a Achshara to a mitzvah. There, you're doing Achshara to a mitzvah, you tell them to go out, or you're telling to take out the parim outside in order to fulfill the mitzvah. And by both of them it says, when you take them out by the parim and the sofrim, it forgives on the sinner. And by shchutei chutz, the haitzah that he did, he shached outside, was an aveda. In fact, you're going to add it up. Just the opposite. I'll show you more in common with shchutei chutz. Why? Because number one, Adam. In both cases, it says about Adam, by the Mekalel, it says take the person outside the camp, it's referring to the Adam. That's by Mekalel. And also, by Shchutei Chutz, it's talking about a person who shechted the kachim outside the Azara. Part of the Safrim there, it's referring to this par that it should be burnt outside. Chayta, again, it says the Lashon Chayta Mekalel. The one who curses and the one who shechts outside, they're sinners. But by parim and sofrim, when you take out the parim outside, they're not sinners. B'neshama, it says the one that's mekalel, his neshama is taken out from outside the camp. So too, one who shechts v'chutz, shchutei chutz, the neshama of the behemoth is taken outside the camp. But parim and sofrim, they shechted it inside the camp. And it was taken outside the camp. It was burnt outside the camp. So it's more, Mekalel's more in common with Shchutei Chutz. And then Pigul, by Mekalel and Shchutei Chutz, you don't have the union of Pigul with having the wrong machshava. With somebody who curses, he's Chayv Misa, has nothing to do with Pigul. Shchutei Chutz has nothing to do with Pigul. He took an animal that was supposed to be shot and slaughtered in the Azara, he took it outside the Azara. But by the power of Kohen Mashiach and the power of Ha'eda, the person, the Kohen who is doing the carbon has to have the right thoughts. And over there, if he has the wrong thoughts, that's Pigul and it's possible the carbon. So the whole union of Pigul is not shaykh by Mekal and Shchutei Chutz. So you see, Mekal and Shchutei Chutz have more in common. And for the Gemara, this that a Mekambel is similar to Param and Sofim, and this that it's a Hesher Mitzvah is a more Chesheva comparison. That's why it's better to learn Mekal, somebody who curses somebody, from the Param and Sofim, because you're talking about a Hesher Mitzvah and not from Shchutei Chutz where you're talking about an Aveda. Papa says we can learn out Mekal Atzmai, that he's taken out the 3 machnes from Moshe. Where was that Moshe sitting to take out the Makaba? He said, take out the Makaba of the Machna Leviyah. He was sitting in this ready in the second Machna. And He said, Moshe Rabbeinu said, take him out of the machna, which machna? Chutz l'machna l'viyah, outside of machna l'viyah. And then it says, Vayitziu es hamakalel amichutz l'machna. It says again, they took him out of the mekalel outside the machna. Which one is the teachers? They took him out to chutz l'machna yisrael, outside the machna yisrael. Who says that's coming to teach you an additional machna he was taken out? Maybe this is only come to tell you that the Bnei Yisrael did exactly like they were commanded. So you can learn out from this pasuk another machna that he has to be taken out. And the Gemara Asiya this that the Bnei Yisrael did exactly what Hashem wanted. It says openly, like it says in the pasuk, Bnei Yisrael also kasher tzivah Hashem Moshe, that the Bnei Yisrael did exactly like Moshe had commanded. So since you're dashing the yitur of the words vayetziu, so with this that it says in the end of the parsha, vayigmo, I say Evan, my Avdalei. What do we this that they threw on him a stone? It already says v'ragmo I say kolaida. Why does it have to say again vayigmo I say? When it says when they saw also kasher tzivas Hashem, that includes the throwing the stone. So why does he repeat vayigmo I say Evan? We need it for this that we learned in the Braisa. Yigmu Oisei. It says in the pasuk that he threw on him a stone. Oisei, this we dash him that his guf veloy bichsusei, and not his clothing. Evan, meaning he has to be taken out naked. Evan comes to dash and shimeis be'evan achas yotza. If he died with one stone, he's yotza. He had to write the word Evan. He also had to write, there's another pasuk that says, Rog mois ba'avonim. So why do we have to write avonim plural? Evan, if the Torah would only write Evan, where he didn't die with one stone, we shouldn't allow to throw another stone to kill him. Because avonim, if the Torah would have only written avonim plural, I would have thought that you're allowed to throw many stones to begin with. Because that's why the Torah wrote Evan in B'Yechidus, that only one stone should be thrown, no additional stones. In fact, the Gemara, but the Tana of the Braisa dashed this from the Gzeira Shava, that you have to take it out from three machnes, and here we're learning it out from that in each place it says chutz lamachna, and the whole words of the Braisa and all these and the Dosha of our Papa that our Papa learned it out. I'm sorry, our Papa learned it out from Moshe. That Moshe said take it out of machna leviyah. And he learned it out from that pasuk that you take it out of the three Leviim. And l'chayda we had Gzeira Shava because it says mechutz lamachna by Parim Nasaf, and it says mechutz lamachna by Mekalel. Says the Gemara, if not for the open pasuk by Moshe Rabbeinu, I would have said the Gzeira Shava from Parim Nasaf. Asher Shneim Ekra. But now that it says a pasuk Gzeira Shava leitzarech, I don't need the Gzeira Shava.